Alright, so it's another day and I got a helper out here today working on the guitar. I don't know why he has a razor blade, but
you said I could.
We'll see if he cuts himself. I don't know.
Ching!
So what we've done is
we put a stinger on it.
We put some tape all along there. We got a nice,
let
me find the, hold on. We got an edge right there. So we got all the fretboards protected from any overspray.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
All right, so we have our stuff looking good here. And what he's doing is he's trying to work on getting some of the extra debris and stuff out of the, I don't know if I'm on the camera or not, stuff out of here so we can glue this neck up. That's what we're working on. There's another troublemaker right there.
Slade, you have to get out of here.
So
that's
he just got it from a nap.
Yeah. He was going nuts.
I'm a wild animal, huh?
You want to use that video?
All right, so what I've done is gotten every freaking time. So what I've done was I started spraying this before I had all this taped off, just for fun. And because I had to actually tape all this off to make the lines perfect, and I had to put some putty in it. So anyway, so I painted this to see what it looked like. Well, what happened was that dye that was under here, the yellow especially, started seeping through. So I said, well, that's not going to do good. And instead of spraying spray, trying to cover it up, because I knew it would keep seeping through the paint, what I did was I took the old standby here and I sprayed that down really good last night. And so like half of this was gray, half of this was the other color. So I took it and I sprayed it down really well. And then what I did was I let it dry overnight, and I came back out here with some 220 and I just gently kind of sanded it back down. And then after I did that this morning, what I did was I took the primer filler and went back over this. So if you just look at it now, it looks really nice. But if you get really dialed in here, you can see some problems. Like you can see that right there. You can see some imperfections. If I had a light on it, you could really see them. But what I'm going to dial it in here. See, there's a problem somewhere right there. See that? I don't want any of that. I want this just super smooth. And like this right here, like you can see that. That's probably that veneer peeling up. I don't know. I'm gonna try and fix that. And a spot right here, I'm gonna try and fix that. And hopefully a little bit of wood filler can get most of this. And then once I get that done, I'm probably not gonna spray any more of this filler primer because it's so thick. I'll probably go ahead and hit a coat of this. So white, flat, protective enamel. So just regular paint. Actually, I have some white primer somewhere. So I might try the white primer. I don't know, it might be a little thicker than the paint. But all this stuff has paint and primer mixed in automatically most of the time. So I think I'm sure this is everything you ever read about. It says paint and primer in one. So whatever, y'all get to see it. So I'm gonna put a light on this and get some of this and go through here and fix all these little pieces, let that dry, sand it down, sand the whole top down, make sure I don't have any imperfections, and then we'll spray the white. So we have a nice smooth tape job there. It's gonna look really nice when we get the tape off. That's a nice joint right there. That's gonna look nice when we get the tape off. That is gonna be a little funky, but at least it's not gonna be red. So it's gonna be like white when I get through with it. So it's gonna be white, and it's gonna hopefully maybe blend in a little bit to the binding. I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, so that's where we're at. Stay tuned, I'll update you as we keep going. All right, here's what we've been down here doing. So I had some little problems right here. Oh, there they are. And I filled them up with a little bit of stuff. I'm gonna let it sit and fill them up again, make sure it's nice and smooth. I'll probably hit that with a little more filler primer right there and let it do its thing. But I think that's the only place that really needed it. I got it all kind of sanded down and it's pretty smooth across. So I think it's getting ready for some white paint. So we're gonna keep playing with this right here. And once we get that just right, we'll hit it with white paint. Okay, here's the first coat of white. You still see the primer through it, so it's a light coat. So I'm gonna wipe it off and hit it with another coat of white, and then put it back in there to dry, because it's a little humid out here, so I'm gonna put it there to dry. All right, so here's what we got going on. So I put 3 coats on last night and let it sit in the shop overnight. It's nice and smooth. All the imperfections are out of it. It's hard to see anything on that white. It's nice and bright white. So that's the problem. We don't want it white. We want it like a old, like it's been sitting in a bunch of cigarettes for its whole life. So I don't know if you can tell, but this is white, and this is one spray of the shellac spray on top of that. So we're gonna hit it with a spray of shellac spray to see if it can get a little bit more yellow tone. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but I'm about to spray it with this right here. See what happens. All right, let's add some more update to this video. So what I've done is I always put it under a light so I can see every little possible problem. So the bad thing about white is kind of like the gold top. The gold top shows every wrinkle or imperfection. Well, the white shows every little black dot, any little trash or whatever. So I've sprayed this with about 2 coats already of the shellac spray. And what happened was I had an old can, so it wasn't spraying correctly. It had a sputter, so it made some lines. So I just sanded all that down. And when I sanded it down, what I did was I went back over it with like another coat of white to get it back to white, which is fine. It looks good. And then I let it dry for a couple days, and now I'm going back over it with a new can of the spray shellac. So I got 2 coats on it. I noticed some little black dots here or there, little imperfections. You really probably couldn't have noticed them if I didn't point them out, but I've sanded them out, and now I don't know if you can tell, but like there it is. You can tell like the orange peel is from the shellac, and that's where I had to sand down to. So what I'm gonna do is go wipe this with a cloth, what do you call it? The cheesecloth thing, the tack cloth. Thank you, tack cloth. So wipe it with tack cloth. I turned the air conditioner off because it was too much particle stuff moving around in here. Too much stuff going on. So it got it dead. It's dead flat in here. 63% humidity, but that shellac spray really doesn't care. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back over there, wipe it down really good, look over it really good. I'm going to hit it with another good solid coat of the shellac. And to refresh your memory, what I'm trying to do is take this white and make it more of a creamy white, more of a yellowed look. So that's our goal. So anyway, so I'm about to go over there and spray it again. All right, so I've tried a ton of different things, and all of my efforts to do what I wanted to with this did not work. So this has a yellowish tint to it. You can see all that yellowish tint. So that's what I wanted to do with this, was make it a yellowish tint. Now I tried, it didn't work. What happened would be, I don't know why, but this seemed like it had some contaminants in it, and it wasn't perfectly clear. So it would have like little bitty black marks here, there, in different places, okay? So what happened was I couldn't sand it out and redo it because it was just making it too yellow, not yellow, and it was hard to get an even coat. Now, when I did my other purple guitar, I couldn't tell anything. So what I did was, I told Dad, we gotta scrap this idea and go to something different. So I sanded all this back down. I had so many coats. I mean, I've had tons of coats on this. So what I did was I just feathered this edge back with some 400 grit, and came back and went and feathered this to make sure it was nice. So in theory, what's gonna happen is when I peel the tape off, it'll have a nice perfect line all the way around. And I'm gonna spray paint all around the side, so that's all the same color. So if you wouldn't do this, and then you go to take the tape off and you start scraping this back, it's gonna reveal the gray primer. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna have to do this back once I peel the tape off, because I'm only gonna have like a couple layers of this new paint that I got. Let me show you. So I went to the store, got some farmhouse white. Well, the farmhouse white it's a little too white. So here's the white we painted it with. So it's about the same color. He wants a creamier white color, an off-white. So I found this French cream. It's an off-white, and it's actually pretty daggum close to what I was going for. It's probably not that great. It's probably not gonna pick up in the light very well. I don't know, but you can see it's more of an off-white, creamy look to it than just a white. So that's what we're going for. So I know we don't want white, so those two are too white, so we're gonna go with this one. So I'm gonna paint it this color, and I'll surprise him in the morning and show him. So anyway, I'm about to wipe it off with the tack cloth, get that good. Then we're gonna hit it with this matte French cream with a couple coats and let it sit overnight. And then we will take it and look for any imperfections tomorrow. If we have any, we'll sand them out and fix it. If not, we'll be fine. So the only thing I'm hoping is this isn't too thick when I go to peel this tape off and we have a fugly looking line. But you know, it is what it is. We'll see when we get there. So I got a lot of coats. So a lot of coats. That's how it worked out. So you ain't got to worry about sanding through to the wood. That's for damn sure. There's probably, I couldn't tell you. There's probably 6 coats of that. Another 8 or 9 coats of just white paint. Probably another 3 or 4 coats of filler primer. So it's it's coated. So we got a perfectly smooth surface. So that's what we wanted anyway. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's smooth as it can be. Because it had some dents and problems or whatever, but not anymore, baby. It's smooth. So we're gonna cover up all these little black marks with paint. So that's what I'm about to do, is go over there right now and paint it. I got all the guitar sprayed with the French cream spray paint. This right here, French cream. So that's the color we went with. So it's kind of a nice color. Let's see, let me show you. So that's it, French cream. It's not white. It's not, let's see. You can see white versus that. It's more of a creamy color. I love it. It's the old yellowed looking creamy color white. So we're about to take this tape off and see how that works. So wish me luck. Hopefully that won't screw anything up. So we'll come back when we do that. All right, so the tape's off. That's one side. Let me do hold on. All right, did that with the brightness. So it's got a little bit of, I don't know if that's tape residue or what that is. But if you zoom in, I mean, it looks really obvious. But I mean, if you zoom out, that's zoomed out, so it's not that bad. But I could probably take a paintbrush with a fine tip and just ease down. Just ease down that line and just fill that in with paint. I think that's what I'm going to do. This other side looks really nice, but I could probably do the same for it too. Tell you what, just zooming in makes it look way worse. Look at that. Doesn't look that bad in real life. I mean, that's what it looks like in real life. So that's where I covered that binding up. So I'm about to take all the tape off the edge. So wish me luck. I hope that it doesn't have any like weird looking primer spots or anything. It's all the same color as the top. So I'll pop back to that when I do that. Can y'all explain to me why it's always something? This is the painter's tape that is the one that doesn't grip very hard. And it's pulling the dead-gum wood off the freaking guitar when I go to pull it off. Why? Are you kidding me right now? So guess what? Gotta fill it and sand it. More work. It's always something. Alright, so we got the tape off. And of course it left a little bit of wonkiness on here. So we're gonna take the razor blade and see if we can scrape all this off around here and see if we can get to look how we're gonna get it to look right there. So if we can get it to look like that right there all the way, that'd be fine. No big deal. So we're gonna try that and see what happens. But I mean, looks pretty sweet. This is all gonna be that nice dark brown color when I get done with it. And I wanted to leave all this taped up until I got this, till I make sure I didn't screw that up. So, because you know how these tops are when I'm doing them, it takes about 17 times to do it. Like I said, this one has 87 coats of paint on it. And what I did was, when I finally figured out this is the last thing I'm gonna do,
I took some 600 grit and ran it all down the side and on the edge really well, and got as much paint as I could off the edge. So hopefully it's just a little bit of paint from the actual last color that I used. So we're gonna see what happens when I try to scrape this binding around here a little bit. I'm not scraping the binding, I'm just scraping around the edge just to smooth up the edge. That's all I want to do. All right, guys, so I've sat here and kind of gone over it with a fine-tooth comb, and the lines are nice and they're nice and crispy for what I need. I don't know, I don't like it, but it's not bad. You have to look at it to notice it. You can see the thin gray line of body filler primer, which is pretty equal all the way around on the guitar. When you look at it, you can see it all the way around. So, well, you can't really see it there, but some other places you can see it. So, look really close, you can almost see all the layers, but it's gonna be all covered up with clear. You're not really gonna pay attention to that, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal. I mean, you still got these little red marks, some red there, so it's not perfect anyway. We knew it wouldn't be. We just want to try and get all that red off. So that's it. Got her done. I'm gonna post the video now. I gotta fill these gaps in with wood filler right there, back here, fill all that in. Now I gotta fix all this crap and get all this resanded off. I'm not gonna put any tape on the top because I'm scared I'll peel paint off or something stupid will happen. So I'm just gonna have to be really careful when I go to do any sanding on the back. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. So anyway, so that's what we got. Got it all untaped except for that. So we'll do that later. I gotta go get in the gym and work out. But anyway, that's where we're at, baby. Looks pretty good if I must say so myself. I mean, if you gotta get a magnifying glass to find the imperfections, you know, you did something right. So, I mean, that's 3 feet away. Can't tell nothing. So, guitars are meant to get beat up anyway, right? All right. This is it. Last video before I do something else.